Question time, viewers. Who was the very first player to ever score a Premier League hat-trick? Can you answer that question? Do you know the answer? Let me know down in the description before you Google it or before I tell you halfway through the episode. Do you know it? Let me know. Yes, welcome to the Omega Luke Gaming channel. We have a very special video today. A couple of years ago, Football Manager fans were gripped by a player known as Erling Haaland, and everyone seemed to buy this player, whether it be for a Premier League team or not. He just did the business. He just scored so many goals. He was one of the best Wonderkids on the game, and in last year he was even better. This season, wow, oh wow, he is overpowered. After making his move in real life to Borussia Dortmund, we have seen Erling Haaland do what he does for us in simulation in real life. Now, today's video is very special because Erling Haaland has a cousin, viewers. He is 16 years of age, and we're going to do a player spotlight on him. He's a striker as well, so it's quite easy to compare the two players considering I use Erling Haaland in both FM19 and FM20. So today, strap yourselves in, drop a like on the video if you can, that will be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because we are closing in very fast now to that 15k subscriber mark. I'd like to get there as fast as I possibly can, and still over 50% of you haven't subscribed yet. Twitch.tv is where you will catch me live /Omega Luke Gaming. I didn't give you the end bit. If you want to catch me live, that's where you'll find me for the youth to go. But let's not waste any more time, and let's take a look at Erling Haaland's cousin. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is Braut Tjaland. Now, this even sounds like Erling Haaland, doesn't it? Because Erling Haaland shares the same middle name as him as well, Braut. Also playing at Molde, the same team as where you would have found Erling Haaland a couple of seasons ago in 2017, before he made his move to Salzburg, before he made the move to Dortmund. And he even looks kind of similar to him as well. It's quite freaky that I know they're cousins, but it is quite freaky how much they look the same. How he is just Erling Haaland 3 or 4 years ago. It's quite scary, but we're going to have a good look at him today. Now, he doesn't have the best potential range in the game, only up to 140, but we're going to set him at 140 and see what he can do. And you need to just see exactly what he can do, because it's quite phenomenal. You'll see. You'll see what I mean. Now, to buy this player is actually very cheap, only 325k. With a friendly for Molde. Now you can actually sign him for a number of different clubs. He will still go to you. You don't have to be one of the most famous players, or famous teams, sorry, in the world. He will still move to your club. And if you are in a lower division, this is probably the perfect player to pick up, because, like I mentioned, he doesn't have the best potential range, so he will probably do a very good job for you, and you might be able to keep hold of him a lot longer. So it is at this point, we are going to move him to a club where we have a fixed potential of 140 on there. We have fixed him at that, so at some point during the video, we will make sure he actually gets to that 140 and plays at 140, so we can see the very best of Braut Tjaland. I meant to say Erling Haaland. It's not. It's Tjaland, and it's probably pronounced wrong. I'm very sorry, Norwegian fans. I'm very sorry. I know a lot of Norwegians watch my videos thanks to the Conquering Scandinavia series I did last year. So hello, by the way. Hopefully I don't butcher his name too bad, and you can forgive me and come back. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's take a look. Now, the simplest of things would be to just keep him at Molde. However, sometimes the simulations don't quite work, especially when we play in like the Spanish leagues, registration rules, the German leagues, registration rules, and the Portuguese leagues can be quite annoying. So the same thing happened in Norway with Tjaland being only 16. For some reason, we couldn't get him to play every single game. So my simulator, Thomas First, is from Denmark, and his favourite team is Brøndby. So I said to him, knock yourself out, put him at Brøndby and see what he can do. Here is the result. We are 3 seasons into the future, 2023, and Braut Tjaland has scored 50 goals in a season, and they only have 32 league games. So that's quite extraordinary. He has a 7.41 average rating as well. Already, we are seeing some quite scary results. But he is 19. Let's take a look at him now. So this is natural progression. We haven't cranked him up at all yet. We haven't touched him. Natural progression sees him at a very high current ability, I would say so already. Now, again, 19, he is valued now at 5.25 million. So for the money that you did pay, you've already made your money back after a few seasons. He has great physicals. He is, of course, 6'2", so he's a powering figure, very much like his cousin, with great jumping reach. He doesn't have the best technicals, but I've mentioned time after time and time again, the technical attributes are probably the least important column that you have in your attributes section here. Always focus on mentals and physicals first, especially those physicals. They can really make or break a player, and Erling Haaland's cousin, I keep going to call him that, Tjaland, actually has very good physicals for the player that he is. He is also a very consistent player, and I don't know whether that is a fixed attribute. I don't think it is. So it might be random for you. But let's take a look more into how he has progressed throughout the seasons and take a look at his stats. So as a 16-year-old, we've bought him for 600k here, 21 goals and 3 assists with 3 player of the matches in his debut season. Not bad at all for a debut in 16-year-old. The second season, it got a little bit better. 27 goals with 7 player of the matches, 7.2. And then we have, it just took 3 seasons before he ended up scoring more goals than games. 35 goals in 32 games with 5 assists, 12 player of the matches already. So a quick look at his development. We can see a lot of his attributes have increased by 3s, 4s, and even a couple of 5s in there. Again, not a lot in the technical attributes department, but a load in the physicals and the mentals where it really matters. And we can see his actual determination's gone down as well. That's determined basically on the club and the mentoring groups that you use. So maybe he's had a bad influence in at some point, but it doesn't matter. It went actually down. I can't really work that out, to be honest. But you can see a good natural progression since being at the club. We are as well using him in that poacher role, and we have seen this poacher role being used before in a simulation using the Nap Warrior tactic. And because that's basically, I just think, is the best player role for this man. He doesn't have the best technicals for a complete forward or a pressing forward, but he has what you need for a poacher. And if we add player traits onto him, he will be better and better. So once those mentals start increasing, we'll see an increase in performances. Don't you worry about that. Now, just 2 years on, and it's 2025 now, Albert finds himself winning League 1 with AS Monaco. And he is the top scorer, and again, he has the highest average rating, a 7.66 average rating, which is so good. But 67 goals is quite phenomenal. Let's take a look at him. So this is him near his maximum now. We're starting to give him some player traits, gets him to opposition area because he is a poacher. Very good. And we can see, good off the ball, great teamwork. He's also a bit of a penalty taker as well, so that's fantastic. Acceleration of 17 and his pace of 16. He is a very fast player. And the fact that he's 6'3", he's actually grown an inch. Even though he is 6'3", he is still fast, he is strong, but he still has a decent agility and balance. So it is very much like his cousin in real life. It just seems to be so powerful. That structure, like Cristiano Ronaldo, even though he's tall, he still is very agile and fast and strong. He's a bit of a physical monster, and that's what I see with Albert. He's not as great as those players that I've mentioned, but he is getting there, and he is kind of on the same wavelength. Now, he is valued at £29 million at the age of just 21. We purchased him from Bromby for 8.75 million, and in his debut season, he scored 51 goals in the league. Just in the league. 76 goals in total. 76. It is almost better than what Erling Haaland used to... It is better than what Erling Haaland used to do in the last couple of FMs. This is quite extraordinary stuff. This season, he had a worse season. He had only 48 goals in the league. Viewers, it's terrible. His form is dipping. 11 player of the matches. A 7.63 average rating. 67 goals in all competitions. Quite crazy. I think you would agree. The season before, they didn't actually win the League 1, so they must have finished second because he scored that many goals. But this season, obviously they won it on goal difference. That's thanks to him. because he had 83 plus goal difference and he scored 48 goals. Still, we are using this tactic of the poacher role in the Nap Warrior. But let's go forward a few more seasons to see how he does. So he returned 2 years later, and this is him definitely at his best now. Definitely at 140 current ability, and he scored 75 league goals. So current ability doesn't really matter that much if they have the attributes distributed in the correct places and you have a decent tactic which will supply him goals. We can see he's actually dropped off in a couple of attributes, but other attributes has increased. He is looking absolutely fantastic for the role that he is playing. 23 years of age, he is now worth £37 million. It doesn't matter, he's still scoring 75 goals throughout the whole season. 51 goals in the previous year, matching his highest that he had in his first season with actually a lot more player of the matches. 15 of them, 7.75 average rating, the highest. In this league campaign, just the 47 again. Is actually his lowest since he's been to France. The lowest he has scored since he's been to France is 47 goals in the league. Crazy. 6 assists with 12 player of the matches. That was a 75 goal league campaign. The season before was a 66 league goal, across the whole season, campaign. Quite phenomenal. Now, competitions-wise, they did not win the league, but they finished Champions League runners-up. That is quite fantastic for a team like Monaco. The season before, they also didn't win it, but again, he is dominating everything else. They are getting close enough to what we are looking for here. I'm very pleased with how he's progressing. 23 years of age. We're going to go 2 more seasons. Let's see how he does. And so he returned on 2029. This is the 9th season, and Albert has only scored 49 goals. That's a disappointing total for Albert Braut Tjaland. They also finished way off the pace at the top of the leaderboard there. Even Stade Rennes, my least favourite French club ever, is at the top. But he's still looking good. This is still in around the 140 mark. Again, the finishing has dropped off, but we can see attributes around him everywhere else. Seems to be quite good, and he is still scoring the goals. Let's take a look at his season. Now that he has dropped off massively, this is the only season he scored less than 47 goals. He only scored 31. Maybe I don't know. Don't know what happened. It must be the players around him. Must be. Because the rest of the season he's very consistent. 55, he actually got his highest total ever, with 55 league goals, 72 goals in total across the season, 7 assists, 11 player of the matches with a 7.69 average rating. And they actually won that season in between. And I did notice that in the competitions they played in the FIFA Club World Cup, what have they won to get into that? Well, I'm guessing it was a runners-up position because they weren't winners of the Europa League or the Champions League at that point. So that's fair enough. Let's see more about him though. We're still playing, by the way, the Nap Warrior tactic. Let's see everything that he has achieved and see if he's won any competitions or awards. Now, he's never won a Ballon d'Or. Unfortunately, Mbappe's been winning that, even though Tjaland has been scoring many more goals. And we can actually see Erling Haaland actually plays for PSG, so he's actually coming up against his cousin there. Well, he always ends up at PSG. It's very strange. So I think he's been robbed there. The only thing he has actually won, which I noticed, was the best under-21 men's player for 3 years in a row at his time in Monaco. So that's some achievement at least. The only thing I also noticed he won was on competitions wise. Norway won the UEFA European Championship under-21s twice with Tjaland at the club. So that's quite an achievement to win that competition back to back. He was very young, obviously, when he won. Well, actually, he wasn't. I don't understand how he's managed to play for it twice. I know there's a certain age limit you can be and stuff like that, but I don't really know. We can see it also that UEFA League, Champions League runners-up there. They are the Coupe de France, they've won a few times, and the Olympic Games in the 3rd place, and I know he's won a lot of awards for the gold at the European Golden Shoe. So that brings to us a close for Albert Braut Tjaland. Now, it's nowhere near as good, obviously, as Erling Haaland. That's quite considerable. And let's actually take a compare of these two players and just see, really, after how many seasons we have played here, 8 or 9 seasons, what the comparisons really are. It is actually quite scary once you load up the two pictures next to each other, how much they look very similar. However, if we do take a look at the graph here at their attributes, we can see that Albert beats him out in speed and aerial ability, but Erling Haaland just destroys him in the attacking department. He just has the best attributes for that. And if we looked at here, he obviously is the better player. It's just depending on what you actually use them for. You would be spending a lot of money if you wanted to get Erling Haaland, and you'd only spend 300 odd K to get Albert. So it's a bit of a compromise, but it's a big compromise, and you save yourself a lot of money. So what do you make of Albert Braut Tjaland as a whole, out of 5 stars? And I'm going to rate him. Obviously, the cost is very low. That's fine. Now, the one thing that stumps me is the attributes per position. Although he has good mentals and very good physicals, it's only good mentals. He only has like 16 off the ball. The rest of it is like 13, 14s. And with that being good, it's not great. So for me, I don't think he gets that star, in my opinion. Does he bring back the goals? Absolutely yes. There was only one season where he didn't score more goals than games once he kicked into full gear. And does he have the value after? I mean, if you're spending only 300k on him, have a valuation of 30 million at the end, that is a huge profit. So absolutely yes. I think that's a big star for me, but he definitely doesn't have that something special, in my opinion. So for me, Albert Braut Tjaland is only a 3-star player, but what a 3-star player he is. So what do you make of Albert Braut Tjaland, Erling Haaland's cousin, out of 5 stars? And speaking of elite strikers, the answer to the quiz question at the start, I have not forgot. I just wanted to keep you waiting. The first player to ever score a Premier League hat-trick is the king himself, King Eric Cantona. Did you know that? Let me know. And this is where we say goodbye, viewers. So massive thank you for watching to the end of the video. If you have done so, please consider smashing that like button, subscribing if you haven't done so already for more experiments and more Wonderkid spotlights just like today. If you have any recommendations, of course, let me know down in the description. We're getting a few recommendations, but we are still having our list and so many decent players. So there are plenty more to come, so make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss one. And there is a notification bell if you haven't ever pressed it. Make sure you press it because it will allow you to get notified whenever I upload a video. And I think that's important. Do you think that's important? Press it right now. So I will see you on the next video, whether that be tomorrow or at the end of this video, I'm going to recommend one for you. Why don't you pick one of those and see how far down my playlist you can get of player spotlights. See you soon. Bye-bye.